Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The theme as we continue in Romans chapter 8 and verse 20, for the creation was made subject to vanity, for the creature was made subject. Before manifestation, we must get out of vanity. As I listen to every minister, what went through my mind is this big word: help God. Help. Usaidizi. Help. Usaidizi. Mungu nisaidie. Now, help, usaidizi, as we go slowly, tunapoenda pole pole, is to give support, ni kupeana msaada or assistance au usaidizi to someone or to something, kwa mtu au kitu, or to give the useful things au kupeana vitu vinavyosaidia that are necessary ambavyo vinahitajika in achieving kwa kutimiza an end, hatima nzuri. It is to give assistance, ni kutoa msaada. Those who are writing there, wale ambao mnaandika, can help me, or support au msaada to someone or something, kwa mtu au kitu, the things that are useful, vitu ambavyo vina faida, or necessary au vinahitajika, so that they can achieve, ili mtu aweze kutimiza an end, mwisho mwema. Now I want us to look at the end, because we have not yet reached the end. Kwa sababu hatujafikia mwisho bado. Acts says something in the book of Acts. Katika Matendo kuna kitu kimenukuliwa hapo. In Acts, Peter is preaching. Petro anahubiri katika Matendo. Acts chapter 3. Matendo 3. And verse 21. 21. Whom the heaven must receive. 21. Ilimpasa mbingu zimpokee. Until the time of restitution. Mpaka wakati wa kufanywa upya kila kitu. The heavens must receive. Ilimpasa mbingu zimpokee. Because they have never seen a people. Hawajawahi ona watu. Creation has never seen. Maumbile hawajaona watu. A man of God. Mtu wa Mungu. Pastor, mchungaji, a bishop, askofu. Creation has not seen viumbe havijaona a man, mtu with this glory, mwenye utukufu aina hii. Creation has not seen, viumbe havijaona, it has not seen, haijaona, and it is holding, na vimeshikiliwa, it is holding, vimeshikiliwa until the church matures, hadi kanisa likomae, to manifest, ili kudhihirisha this glory, utukufu huu. Our late bishop said, I see it. Askofu wetu aliyepumzika alisema nimeiona, I can't go there, lakini siwezi enda kule sasa. I've spent 63 years. Miaka 63 nimehutumia. And my time is up. Na muda wangu umeisha. We don't have much time. Hatuna muda mrefu. Don't be fooled. You don't have much time. Hauna muda mrefu. That is something that I've come to realize. Jambo nimekuja kutambua. My life has never been the same. Maisha yangu hayajawahi kuwa vile tena. Paul says something. Paulo alisema kitu. Now he says the heavens must be until the restitution. Anasema hadi urejesho. What restitution? Urejesho upi? Which restitution? The glory that Adam lost. Utukufu ambao Adamu alipoteza. The glory that Adam lost. Utukufu uliopotezwa na Adamu. And John chapter 1 tells us, Yohana 1 tuelezwa, what is that end? Ni hatima gani hiyo? John chapter 1, Yohana 1 and verse 16 says, 16, and of his fullness, kwa utimilifu wake, of his fullness, kwa utimilifu wake, creation has not seen, maumbile hayajaona, his fullness, utimilifu wake, of his fullness, utimilifu wake. If it is a measure, ikiwa ni kipimo, any sign, any miracle you have seen, na ni muujiza umeona, anything you have heard, chochote ulichosikia, it is not the fullness, si utimilifu. He says of his fullness. Anasema utimilifu wake. Creation is waiting. Viumbe vinangoja. Of his fullness. Utimilifu wake. That's what creation is waiting for. Ndivyo viumbe vyote vinangoja. Now the challenge is this. Changamoto ni hii.
We are talking about it.
Tunaongea kuihusu.
And Bishop used to quote this scripture.
Na askofu alikuwa
ananukuu. In 2 Timothy chapter 3.
Timotheo wa kwanza wa pili sura ya 3.
Timothy chapter 3 and verse 7.
Sura ya 3:7.
2 Timothy chapter 3.
Timotheo wa pili.
He says we are the group that is ever learning.
Anasema sisi ni kikundi ambacho tunajifunza siku zote. Tukijifunza siku zote.
This is another conference.
Ni kongamano jingine.
Will you go back the same way you came?
Vile ulivyokuja.
Will you continue to live the same way?
Utaendelea kuishi ulivyokuja.
Will you hear another teaching?
Je, utasikia mafundisho mengine?
And even when you leave here right now,
ukitoka hapa sasa,
you will go listen to another Nigerian.
Utaenda usikize Mnigeria mwingine.
You will go to YouTube and listen another one.
Utaenda usikize neno lingine kwa YouTube.
Hey, but creation is waiting.
Lakini viumbe vinangoja.
To those that shall come to the knowledge.
Wale watafikia maarifa.
Of truth.
Ya kweli.
Of the fullness.
Ya ukamilifu.
Of the stature.
Na kimo.
Of that glory that God wanted.
Ule utukufu ambao Mungu alihitaji.
To manifest in a man.
Kudhihirisha ndani ya mtu.
To manifest in the church.
Kudhihirisha kwa kanisa.
To manifest through you.
Kudhihirisha kupitia wewe.
That's the word which is coming to us.
Ni neno ambalo linatujia sisi.
And challenging us.
Nikitutia changamoto.
So where did man go wrong?
Mwanadamu alikosea wapi?
Man went wrong in the book of Genesis.
Mwanadamu alikosea katika Mwanzo.
In the book of Genesis chapter 1.
Katika Mwanzo 1.
Chapter 1 and verse 27.
27.
Genesis 1 and verse 27.
Mwanzo 1:27.
So God created man in his own image.
Kwa hiyo Mungu akamuumba mtu kwa mfano wake mwenyewe.
Image means the picture or the likeness.
Mfano inamaanisha picha au kufanana.
Of the real thing.
Ya ile iliyo ya kweli.
So when he created man.
Alipomuumba mwanadamu.
Now when the world looks at the church,
dunia ikitazama kanisa,
they are supposed to see the image.
Wanapaswa kuona mfano.
Christians were first called Christians.
Wakristo waliitwa Kristo kwanza.
In Antioch.
Kule Antioch.
Because of that image.
Kwa sababu ya ile sura au mfano.
But today the church has lost it.
Lakini leo kanisa limepoteza.
We have lost it.
Tumeipoteza.
Because we don't look to that image.
Kwa sababu hatufanani na ile sura.
Because God created man.
Maana Mungu aliumba mwanadamu.
A little bit lower.
Mdogo kidogo.
As we have just been told in a few minutes. By Apostle Samdaza.
Na Mtume Samdaza.
And this, when he created man.
Alipomuumba mwanadamu.
In the spirit realm.
Katika anga ya kiroho. Na katika mpangilio.
We are above archangels.
Tuko juu ya malaika wakuu.
When you talk of Michael, Angel Gabriel,
Mikaeli na Gabrieli na wale wengine,
they do not have the privilege.
Hawana fursa
that me and you has been given.
Mimi na wewe tumepewa.
To be in that image. God created them. Male and female created them. And in verse 28.
28.
And God blessed them.
Mungu akawabariki.
Now are we seeing that blessing in the house?
Je, tunaona hiyo baraka kwa nyumba ya Bwana?
Are we seeing in the church today?
Je, tunaiona hiyo baraka kwa kanisa?
People are suffering.
Watu wanateseka.
In the last 2 years.
Katika miaka miwili iliyopita.
If I begin to tell you how people are suffering.
Nikianza kueleza vile watu wanateseka.
We preach the 7 steps of salvation.
Tunahubiri hatua zile 7 za wokovu.
But before that, let me mention this.
Lakini kabla ya wacha niseme hii.
He blessed them.
Aliwabariki.
This is the blessing. The opposite of a blessing is a curse.
Kinyume ya baraka ni laana.
And this is how he blessed them.
Na hivi ndivyo alivyowabariki.
Number 1.
Kwanza.
He said, be fruitful.
Zaeni.
Be fruitful.
Zaeni.
That was the first.
Hiyo ilikuwa ya kwanza.
Now in the church.
Hapa kanisani.
Today.
Leo.
Now I remember this some time back.
Nakumbuka wakati hapo awali.
I've read already it coming to the knowledge of the truth.
Kufikia ujuzi wa kweli.
It's time we face the facts.
Ni wakati kukabiliana na ukweli.
Today the church has stopped growing.
Leo kanisa limeacha kukua.
Church has stopped increasing.
Kanisa limeacha kuongezeka.
There's a time I had 2 motorbikes.
Kuna wakati kwa na pikipiki mbili.
I was a fanatic of I love as a hobby I like to ride.
Napenda kuendesha pikipiki.
So I had 2 and God blessed me with 2.
Mungu alinibariki na pikipiki mbili.
A small one and a big one.
Ile ndogo na nyingine kubwa zaidi.
So after a while,
baada ya muda,
I sold the big one.
Niliuza ile kubwa.
And after a while,
na baada ya muda,
I sold the second one.
Nikauza pia ile ya pili.
And I had nothing.
Na sikuwa na kitu.
when I was like this, Bishop came and told me,
kisha nikiwa hivi askofu alikuja kaniambia,
what's wrong with you?
Shida yako nini?
I said, what's wrong with me?
Nini mbaya nawe?
And he told me,
akaniambia,
you're not fruitful.
Uzai matunda.
You had 2 motorbikes.
Ulikuwa na pikipiki mbili.
Now you have nothing.
Sasa una kitu.
There is something wrong with you.
Kuna shida.
And let me tell you, we have to face it.
Lazima tukabiliane nayo.
When you see there is no fruit,
ukiona hakuna matunda,
there is a problem with the root.
Kuna shida na shina au mizizi.
Where there is no fruit,
mahali hakuna matunda,
when the church stops growing,
kanisa likiacha kukua,
there is a problem in that church.
Kuna shida ndani ya kanisa.
Even a stone. And if you see, and that's the worst thing, is to have a child that is not growing.
Kuwa na mtoto ambaye hakui.
God has blessed me with 4 children.
Mungu amebariki na watoto wanne.
And I thank God that I no longer change diapers.
Nashukuru Mungu kwamba sibadilishi diapers.
Because of growing.
Kwa sababu ya
because of growth.
Kwa sababu ya kukua.
Because of growth.
Kwa sababu ya kukua.
And if the church is not growing,
ikiwa kanisa halikui,
there's a problem in the church.
Kuna shida ndani ya kanisa.
In any way,
kwa njia yote,
if the praise team is not growing,
ikiwa waimbaji hawakui,
there's a problem.
Kuna shida.
If we are not evangelizing,
ikiwa uinjilisti haukui,
there's a problem.
Kuna shida.
The same way, doing the same thing the same way,
ikiwa tunafanya jambo moja kila wakati,
and expecting a result,
kutarajia matokeo mema,
is known as what?
Inajulikana kama nini?
It's foolishness.
Upumbavu.
Now the church, and let me tell you, the church, we have to come back and face the fact we have stopped growing.
Tumeacha kukua.
Why has the church stopped growing?
Mbona tumeacha kukua?
Fruitfulness.
Uzalishaji wa matunda.
Because there are things that are fighting us as a church.
Kuna vitu vinatupinga kama kanisa.
Fruitfulness means always.
Kuzaa matunda inamaanisha kila wakati.
Always.
Wakati wote.
Producing. That's what fruitfulness means.
Inamaanisha kuzaa kila wakati.
Always producing.
Wakati wote.
So he told man, you are in my image.
Uko katika mfano wangu.
You have to be always producing.
Lazima uzae kila wakati.
There should be growth.
Lazima kuwe na kukua.
We should see the church growing.
Lazima tuone kanisa likikua.
We should see the church expanding.
Lazima tuone kanisa likipanuka.
One of our overseers showed me a picture.
Mwangalizi mmoja alinionyesha picha.
We need to help this church.
Tunahitaji kusaidia kanisa hili.
It has never put a mabati for the last 10 years.
Kwa miaka 10 iliyopita haijawahi weka hata mabati moja.
I said, is there a pastor there?
Nikauliza kuna mchungaji kule?
Are there members there?
Je, kuna washirika?
There's a problem.
Kuna shida.
And this fruitfulness
na huku kuzaa matunda
has to do with maturity.
Inalingana na ukomavu.
You will never get a fruit
hutawahi pata matunda
without maturity.
Bila ukomavu.
There's no fruit without maturity.
Hakuna matunda bila ukomavu.
It has to mature.
Lazima ikomae.
For the tree to produce.
Ili mti uzalishe.
In Mark chapter 11.
Katika Marko 11.
In Mark chapter 11.
Marko 11.
In Mark chapter 11. Can I say the truth?
Niseme ukweli.
In Mark chapter 11.
Katika Marko 11.
Verse 12 says,
12 anasema,
and on the morrow when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And verse 13 says, and seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came if happily he might find anything thereon. And when he came to eat, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. It had not matured. I'm asking for praise in the church. And when the church has not matured, when the church has not matured, this holy convocation, we are not in a funeral service. We have come to glorify God. If God comes today, will He just find leaves? Will He just find a meeting of leaves? He wants to find fruit of your lips. And you are shutting your lip. I'm asking, let us shout to the Lord. Can I have a shout to the Lord? You're not even understanding me. Can I have a shout to the Lord? The church is full of leaves. Many people are leaves. When you look for fruit from them, there is no fruit because of lack of maturity. It is not about being good.
Si kwa sawa si kuwa mwema tu.
The first step is carrying your Bible.
Jambo la kwanza kubeba Biblia.
It is okay to carry your Bible. But this coming and this is how you honor God.
Lakini hivyo ndivyo unamheshimu Mungu.
Pokea.
Makofi.
This is how you honor God. That's why he's not manifesting. When David knew God,
Daudi alipomjua Mungu.
You see, in Romans chapter 1.
Katika Warumi 1.
Romans chapter 1.
Katika Warumi 1.
Verse 21 says,
Warumi 1:21.
Because that when they knew God,
kwa maana ingawa walimjua Mungu,
they glorified him not as God.
Hawakumtukuza yeye kama ndiye Mungu.
If you don't reach to that point,
usipofikia hali hiyo,
to giving God his priority,
kumpa Mungu kipaumbele,
God will never be second priority.
Hatawahi kuwa wa pili.
God will never be second priority.
Mungu hatawahi kuwa wa pili.
He will never be second.
Hatawahi kuwa wa pili.
So it says when they knew,
inasema wakati walimjua Mungu,
they glorified him not.
Hawakumtukuza yeye kama Mungu.
As God.
Kama Mungu.
When you mature,
unapokomaa,
to be fruitful,
kuzalisha
you glorify him as God.
Unamtukuza kama Mungu.
You give him first priority.
Unampa kipaumbele.
Neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imaginations.
Wala kumshukuru bali fikira zao zilijaa batili.
And their foolish heart,
na mioyo yao pumbavu,
their foolish heart was darkened.
Ikatiwa giza.
Because they don't know.
Kwa sababu hawajui.
If we knew the church, if we knew who we are,
kama kanisa tungejua sisi akina nani,
we are still suffering under the two sons.
Bado tunateseka chini ya wale wanaoishi.
The prodigal son that is lost,
mwana mpotevu alipotea,
and the one who has stayed that is ignorant.
Na yule ambaye amebaki lakini haelewi.
The church is still there.
Kanisa bado liko hapo.
They have not yet manifested.
Hawajadhihirika.
He was complaining when the other one came back.
Alilalamika yule mwingine aliporejea.
You have never done a party for me.
Hujawahi nitengenezea karamu.
But he told him everything that I have.
Lakini anamwambia yote nilionayo
is yours.
Ni yako.
When we talk about the image,
tunapoongea kuhusu mfano,
he said they have to be fruitful.
Anasema lazima wazae matunda.
They have to be always producing.
Lazima wazae kila wakati.
But verse 23 says,
23 yasema,
Romans 1:23,
Warumi 1:23,
and change the glory of the incorruptible God
inasema wakabadilisha utukufu wa Mungu
into an image made like corruptible man,
sifanane na mwanadamu ambaye hufa,
and to birds and to four-footed beasts,
mfano wa ndege, wanyama na viumbe vitambavyo,
creeping things.
Viumbe vitambavyo.
That is what man is doing.
Hiyo ndio mwanadamu afanya.
Today the church, there is no faith.
Leo kanisa haina imani.
When we talk about the manifestation that has already been defined,
tunapoongea kuhusu udhihirisho ambao ushaelezewa,
and the purpose that has been given by those that have gone ahead of us,
kusudi ambayo ushapeana na wale wametutangulia,
where is the signs and wonders,
ishara na miujiza,
and the miracles
na miujiza
that even in the Old Testament,
ikiwa katika Agano la Kale,
when Elijah said, if I be a man of God,
ikiwa mimi ni mtu wa Mungu,
by this time tomorrow,
kufikia wakati huu kesho.
That was the Old Testament.
Ilikuwa ni Agano la Kale.
The glory that was to be done away with,
utukufu ambao ulipaswa kuondolewa,
and this time the fullness,
na wakati utimilifu.
But the challenge is,
changamoto ni kwamba,
as much as we have known God,
ingawa tumemjua Mungu,
we have not learned to glorify him,
hatujajifunza kumtukuza
as God,
kama Mungu.
That's why there's no increase.
Ndipo hakuna ongezeko.
So I was telling you when I lost the two motorbikes,
nilipopoteza pikipiki hizo mbili,
I began to pray now. I said, God, I need to be fruitful. Why? What is happening?
Mungu anahitaji kuzalisha.
What is happening?
Nini mbaya?
And this is where we need to face facts.
Na tunahitaji kuwa kweli.
The church is becoming less.
Kanisa linapungua.
People are leaving.
Watu wanaondoka.
And we are just,
na tunapiga makofi.
And we are reading.
Tunasoma.
And saying with God all things are possible.
Kusema kwa Mungu yote inawezekana.
There is a difference.
Kuna tofauti
between hope,
kati ya tumaini,
and faith.
Na imani.
Because we have to move from hope.
Lazima toke kwa tumaini.
Because hope is in the future.
Maana tumaini liko katika usoni.
It is now the time
sasa
for the manifestation.
Udhihirisho.
It is now the time for the manifestation.
Sasa ni wakati wa udhihirisho.
It is now the time for fruit.
Sasa ni wakati wa matunda.
So he said, let them go and be fruitful.
Sema wakazae matunda.
Always producing.
Wakizaa wakati wote.
The second thing.
Jambo la pili.
He said in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28.
Mwanzo 1:28.
Then he said, multiply.
Mkaongezeka au mkajumlike.
Multiply.
Mkajumlike.
Oh. Let me mention them and then see how we can get out of it. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. So he blessed them and said, be fruitful. To multiply, it means to always increase.
Kuongezeka kila wakati.
Always.
Kuongezeka.
Let me put the word there, increasing. Always increasing.
Kuongezeka kila wakati.
There is no time for going behind.
Hakuna wakati kurejea nyuma.
It is only going forward.
Ni kuenda mbele tu.
When the children of Israel
wana wa Israeli
reached the Red Sea,
walipofika bahari ya Shamu,
there was a barrier there.
Kulikuwa na kizuizi hapo.
And they thought of going back to Egypt.
Na wakafikiria kurudi Misri.
And God told Moses,
Mungu akamweleza Musa,
tell the people,
waeleze watu,
move.
Endeni mbele.
Move forward.
Endeni mbele.
That they should always increase.
Wanahitaji kuongezeka kila wakati.
So the church should always be increasing.
Kanisa lapaswa kuongezeka kila wakati.
We are supposed to always increase.
Tunahitaji kuongezeka kila wakati.
And that's why Colossians 1:9.
Wakolosai 1:9.
Colossians 1:9.
Wakolosai 1:9.
Colossians 1:9. Can I put it there on the screen?
Wakolosai 1:9.
Colossians chapter 1 and verse 9. So when there's no increase,
wakati hakuna ongezeko,
he says, for this cause also,
kwa sababu hii,
since the day we had it,
tangu
do not cease to pray for you,
hatujakoma kuombea ninyi,
and to desire,
na kumtamani,
and to desire,
na kutamani,
that you might be filled,
mkajazwe ninyi,
with the knowledge,
na maarifa,
with the knowledge,
na maarifa
of his will.
Ya mapenzi yake.
His will is for us to always increase.
Mapenzi yake ni kwamba tupate kuongezeka kila wakati.
In every area,
katika kila eneo,
in all wisdom,
katika hekima yote,
and spiritual understanding,
na ufahamu wa kiroho.
And he told them again,
akawaambia tena,
replenish.
Ongezekeni.
Replenish.
Mkaijaze.
You replenish.
Mjaze.
So increasing.
Ongezeko.
I've found out that there are sometimes you can reach a life.
Kuna wakati unaweza fikia mahali
things stop increasing.
Unafikia mahali ambapo mambo yanaacha kuongezeka.
Now, let me finish mentioning them and then say what I want to say.
Wacha nitamatishe kisha niseme nataka kusema.
To replenish means to fill.
Inamaanisha kujaza. And
refill.
Na kujaza tena.
One of the points that Pastor Carol Simon has given us also. That you have to refresh daily. So he told them, multiply, replenish. And after that he said, subdue.
Na kuitiisha.
Subdue.
Kutiisha.
To subdue
au kusalimisha
is to be in control.
Ni kuwa katika uongozi.
Be in control.
Ni kudhibiti.
Be in control.
Ni kudhibiti.
So man lost these four things.
Mwanadamu alipoteza mambo haya manne.
In the blessing.
Katika baraka.
And we see through Abraham.
Na tunaona pia Abrahamu.
That God blessed Abraham.
Mungu alibariki Abrahamu.
But he was still suffering.
Alikuwa anateseka bado.
Because he was now 75.
Kwa sababu alikuwa na umri wa miaka 75.
No child.
Hakuna mtoto.
80.
80.
No child.
Hakuna mtoto.
No fruit.
Hakuna matunda.
No fruit.
Hakuna matunda.
And he was still barren.
Alikuwa bado ni tasa.
And when there was no fruit,
wakati hakukuwa na matunda,
he had a conversation with God.
Aliwasiliana na Mungu.
And his question was,
akamuuliza Mungu,
God, am I going to die childless?
Mungu, je, nitakufa bila kupata mtoto?
Am I going to die childless?
Nitakufa bila mtoto.
And when you go through the account, let me paraphrase it quickly.
Wacha ninukuu haraka.
In 3 accounts is that he needed help. In Matthew chapter 15.
Katika Mathayo 15.
Matthew chapter 15.
Mathayo 15.
Matthew chapter 15.
Mathayo 15.
Matthew chapter 15. Let me read of this lady in verse 21. Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coasts of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Now, when the devil came in and deceived man, we lost because of these three things now became dominant. The power of darkness is there to fight the human race through three laws. The first law is the law of sin. The second law is the law of death. So through the law of sin, when man transgressed, he lost the power to produce, to be that image, to have a refilling without an endless life. That's why we preach salvation. We preach salvation and endless life, eternal life. And so this body will die, but our spirit quickened shall never die, because in eternity, two eternities, with one without God and one with God. The eternity with God is the restoration of fruitfulness. And we are in the season where the powers of darkness must be defeated. And that way was made through Jesus Christ. How was it made? Through Jesus Christ. In Romans chapter 8 and verse 1, it says, there is now therefore no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who are in Christ Jesus. So Jesus came. And why did Jesus come? That our walk may change, our manifestation may change, that curses may be broken, that there may be deliverance. He came to restore. As that woman was crying and saying, we are vexed. To vex means to hinder. So he came that hindrance, that vex, the law of sin and death. And then this one, the power of darkness. Powers of darkness, where there are principalities and the powers of the air. So Jesus came. And then he says, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. And verse 2 tells us something. For the law of the Spirit of life, he came that we may have life. Life is the quality. It is the quality and the status of your spirit, soul and body. It is in every area. That is what is called life. And the enemy came, he came in and confused man, and man lost that life, which heaven is now waiting for the restitution, to the restoration of the fruitfulness, of the multiplication, of the replenish, of the control of the body of Christ, of man, set free,
akiwa amewekwa huru
from first the law of
kutoka
sin,
kwanza sheria ya dhambi,
set free from the law of sin,
kuwekwa huru kutoka sheria ya dhambi.
where sin is,
maana dhambi, popote dhambi ilipo,
there is death.
kuna mauti.
Where sin is,
walipo na dhambi,
there is sickness.
kuna magonjwa.
Where sin is,
walipo na dhambi,
there is curse.
kuna laana.
So Christ came,
Kristo alikuja
that he may destroy
ili aharibu
the law of sin.
nguvu za dhambi.
They that have matured,
wale waliokomaa,
they that have entered
wale ambao washaingia
into that maturity,
katika ule ukomavu,
cannot sin.
hawawezi tena dhambi.
They cannot sin.
Hawawezi tena dhambi.
Because Romans tells us, let me,
sababu tueleze katika Warumi,
Romans chapter 6,
Warumi 6,
Romans chapter 6,
Warumi 6
verse 1 tells us,
aya kwanza,
what shall we say then?
tuseme nini basi?
Shall we continue in sin,
Je, tuendelee kutenda dhambi
that grace may abound?
ili neema ipate kuongezeka?
Ask us a question.
Tunauliza
And
swali.
verse 2 answers,
Aya pili,
God forbid.
la hasha,
How shall we that are dead to sin
sisi tuliofilia dhambi
live any longer therein?
tutawezaje kuendelea kuishi tena katika dhambi?
They that have matured
Wale waliokomaa
are dead to sin.
wamekufa kwa dhambi.
So Christ came
Kristo alikuja
to break this first law.
avunje sheria hii ya
Are
kwanza,
now dead to
na
sin.
sasa tumekufa kwa dhambi.
Are dead to sin.
Tumekufa katika dhambi.
That is maturity.
Huo ni ukomavu,
To be dead to sin.
kufa kwa dhambi.
And reading in verse 6
Na nikisoma aya 6,
of that same chapter, Romans chapter 6 verse 6
Warumi
says,
6:6.
knowing this,
kwa maana
that
tunajua
our old man
kwamba utu wetu wa kale
is crucified.
ulisulubiwa.
The old man
Utu wa kale
is crucified
ulisulubiwa
with him.
pamoja naye.
So at the cross,
Kule msalabani,
there was being defeated
kule kulikuwa na kushindwa
of sin.
kwa dhambi.
So sin was bringing, sin was bringing
Dhambi ilikuwa ikileta
unfruitfulness,
kuzaa
sicknesses,
magonjwa
and the challenges that man has right now.
na changamoto za mwanadamu sasa,
Sicknesses, poverty,
magonjwa,
and
ufukara
all this
na vitu
that
vyote
is operating.
ambavyo vinatenda.
So he says, now we are dead.
Anasema sasa
We are,
tumekufa.
now know this. He's saying,
Anasema
knowing
jua,
this,
tukijua
the knowledge
hivi
that our old man
kwamba utu wetu wa kale
is crucified with him,
ulisulubiwa pamoja naye,
the body of sin,
ili ule mwili wa dhambi,
body of sin.
ule mwili wa dhambi.
I don't know if you have matured
Sijui kama umekomaa
to say that I cannot sin.
kusema kwamba siwezi tenda dhambi.
I don't know if there's someone that can say I'm matured
Sijui kama kuna mtu sasa nimekomaa
point where I can't
kwa kiwango
sin.
kwamba siwezi tenda dhambi,
And henceforth we should not serve
na hatupaswi kutumika tena
sin. And verse 7 says,
Saba.
for he that is dead
kwa maana mtu yote aliyekufa
is freed
amewekwa huru
from sin.
kutoka dhambi,
Is freed from sin.
amewekwa huru mbali na dhambi.
We still have in the church today
Bado kanisani leo
those that are struggling with
kuna
secret
wale
sins,
wanaong'ang'ana na dhambi za kisiri,
still struggling with lust,
kuna wale wanaong'ang'ana na
still
tamaa,
struggling with alcohol,
wanang'ang'ana na
still
ulevi,
struggling with smoking,
bado wanang'ang'ana na
still struggling with
sigara,
pornography,
wanang'ang'ana na
still
mambo,
struggling with adultery,
wanang'ang'ana na
still
uzinifu,
struggling with
wanang'ang'ana
fornication,
na usherati,
are still vexed,
bado
are
wanateswa,
still oppressed,
bado wanafinyiliwa,
while it should not be that way.
ingawa haipaswi kuwa hivyo.
Why hell has enlarged
Ndiposa
itself?
kuzimu imejipanua,
Because we have not preached
kwa sababu hatujahubiri
that those that are in
kwamba
Christ
wale walio ndani ya
Jesus
Kristo Yesu
cannot sin,
hawawezi tenda dhambi,
have been freed,
wamewekwa huru,
have been freed from sin,
wamewekwa huru mbali na
have been
dhambi,
freed from gossip,
wamewekwa huru mbali na
have been
masengenyo,
freed
wamewekwa huru
from gossip,
mbali na masengenyo,
have been freed from
wamewekwa huru
rebellion,
mbali na
have
uasi,
been freed
wamewekwa
from
huru
disobedience,
mbali na
have
kutotii,
been freed from the curse,
wamewekwa huru mbali na
have been
laana,
freed from
wamewekwa huru
sickness.
mbali na magonjwa.
So this lady came
Dada huyu alikuja
and said to Jesus in Matthew chapter 15.
Mathayo 15,
Matthew chapter, we're in Matthew chapter 15,
katika Mathayo
verse 25, going behind a
15,
little bit. Matthew chapter 15.
Mathayo 15
So she answered, she is grievously vexed, verse 23.
23.
But he answered her not a word.
Lakini Yesu kumjibu neno.
And his disciples came and besought him,
hivyo wanafunzi wake wakaja wakamwendea wakimsihi sana,
send her away,
mwambie aende zake,
for she crieth after
kwa maana
us.
anaendelea kutupigia kelele.
Help.
Msaada.
Help. And verse 24 says, but he answered and said,
Yesu akajibu,
I am not sent but unto the lost
nimetumwa tu kwa ajili ya kondoo wa
sheep of the
Israeli,
house of Israel,
kondoo wa Israeli waliopotea,
they that be of faith.
wale walio imani.
Verse 25 says,
25.
Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord,
lakini yule mnyama akaja akapiga magoti mbele ya Bwana akasema, Bwana,
help me.
Bwana nisaidie.
Lord, help me.
Bwana nisaidie.
Man needs help.
Mwanadamu anahitaji msaada.
Because these laws are so powerful.
Kwa sababu sheria hizi zina nguvu sana.
They are the ones which are causing the church and the body of Christ
hizo ambazo kusababisha kanisa la Kristo
not to progress.
Isiendelee mbele.
They are the ones which are fighting man.
Hizo zinapigana na watu.
Not to manifest.
Asidhihirike.
They are so strong.
Ni za nguvu.
Until Paul says,
hadi Paulo amesema
that in Romans chapter 7,
katika Warumi 7,
that the things which I don't want to do, I find myself doing them. I find myself doing them. So you find you don't want to lie, but you find yourself lying, because we were born in that fallen nature. This first restitution was before he fell. But after that, God had to renew his covenants again, and there's no time to go through all of it. So he had to renew it again. And so in verse 25, then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. And verse 26 says, but he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. And she said, truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And verse 28 says, then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole. She was made whole of his fullness. What makes us full is if we are fruitful. It is if you are fruitful. What makes us full is if we are multiplying. When the church stops multiplying, when we stop growing, there is a problem. We are not whole. We are not whole. And we need divine assistance. So in that time I prayed, I told God, what has happened to me? How did I lose my everything? And I began to pray for help. Because God wants a balance. There are those who used to speak in tongues, and now they are not speaking in tongues. You lost your tongues. We need help. The church needs help. There are those who used to be in the praise team, but they are now no longer fruitful. There are those who used to evangelize, but they have stopped evangelizing. They are not being fruitful. We have to go back to be fruitful until the end. Until the end. The end that we are expecting God to take us to. So that his help is to give us, to be with him and to be glorified. That is his plan of the end, to subdue and to control. Used to go for Kesha, but these days you don't go for Kesha. Used to stay in church the whole day. These days you're not there. Used to be on fire for God, but now you are not on fire for God. We have come for a conference like this to say, God, help me. God, have mercy on me. Restore me to that image, to that power, to that anointing, to that glory. Make me whole. I cried to God, and God restored. It was so a miraculous thing how God restored. He started restoring them.
Mungu alianza kurejesha
kwa njia ya kimungu. But I told him I don't want a motorbike now.
Sasa sitaki pikipiki.
He restored me materially. You are not supposed to lose.
Unahitaji kupoteza
your materials.
Kupoteza mali yako.
There are those who have lost their cars. There are those who have lost their work. You are not supposed to lose it. You are supposed to progress. You are supposed to continue to increase. You are not even supposed to lose those are in up country, our sheep. You are not supposed to lose our chicken. You are not supposed to lose anything. You are not supposed to lose a car. That which I have lost, you are supposed to regain it. I began to pray. And even God is still, I'm still restoring, still restoring. To my surprise, the big one which I sold over 7 years ago. This week, this time when we were fasting 40 days before the elections, he called me and then he asked me, I want to sell it back to you. I have not seen it from 7 years. He has fixed it very well. Ameimaintain inakampia kabisa. He said, I want to return it back to you. I want to sell it. You are the first one that has come to my mind. I said restoration, recovery. God is a God of restoration. God is a God of recovery. There are those even who have lost their health.